Bismillah wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. I would like to welcome all of you, especially my graduate student in Management 512, my MBA student, Leadership and Organizational Behavior. And this is Chapter 8, the Group Dynamics and Work Teams. Today is September 27, 2020, and this is Dr. Samir Hamad. Now, talking about working teams, very important that you have to be a good team player if you are within a team. You have to be active team member if you are within a team. If you are the leader, you have to be a good coach. Now, working with teams give you more perspectives, because if you are one person, there is only maybe little angle you can see it, because simply you are a human. But if you have a team, each one has different angle, different perspective, and you can see more things. Now, teams is better than a group. And if you go to the Far East, as we can see in one of the slides, comparison between the Americans and between the Chinese, teamwork is more visible and more act upon, or more used, if you will. While if you go to the Middle East, you go to the Western cultures, it's not as utilized as the Eastern culture. Very interesting. Today we are going to see, and we are going to talk about the dynamics of working with teams. As a leader, a good leader, if he become a team member, he will be a good team member as well. As much as he expects people to follow him as a leader, when he go back as a team member, he should follow the leadership or the new leader. For today, we will be talking a lot about these team members and what are the... let me share with you some of my own experience. I've been working with King Fahd University Petrol Minerals for more than 30 years. And within the university, it's my comfort zone. I have been participating in so many committees, academic and non-academic, and I was at one point of time the administrator or for the finance and for the purchasing and we have so many type of teams, and I feel comfortable because this is my comfort zone. Most of the people I know, they know me. It is very same if you are in Aramco. Your comfort zone, Aramco is so big, but your comfort zone is your department. You feel very. But if you go probably to other areas or different department, you still. It is different. It is different to group, different people that you don't know. Myself, this is. With teams within universities, I have no problem. I know them so well. Then they put me in a team member. KFUPM nominate me as a team that represent the whole university for a committee that goes to the governor and this civil defense, and this is for in case of disaster. What if disaster happen? How would everybody will report to the governor, and how do they deal with that? They bring people from Aramco, from KFUPA, from all universities, from different government agencies, from municipalities, from civil defense and from police, and everybody's there, from National Guard, so that if anything happen, we report to the governor, and the governor, he will decide what to do, and he will manage teams. Interestingly enough, after I went to United States, I was, while I was working in that team that took 1 year or committee, I told myself, I wish I did have any scientific background or courses in disaster management. And after I went to United States and during my doctoral program over there, I study a course, sociology of disaster and management of disaster. How do they do? It's so interesting, you know. Anyway, for that was a new team for me on the Eastern Province level. And then I participated in a team at the national level for endowment. I was a part of national committee for endowment, and again, everybody's union at national level. Then there is another team that I was or member. I work as a board member in this national committee and board member for International Chamber of Commerce. That was in their headquarters in Paris, but the chapter in Saudi Arabia. And last, I was just, you know, part of the task force for the G20 group that's going to take place in Saudi Arabia in November, and I was part of the educational future of education team. I share with you my experience, you know. First time I go there, I look for those people, and you know, I don't know them. I don't know what to talk, whether I should talk or not. First time I just sit and watch, see what type of, you know, those people are. I was so much afraid. I'm not in my comfort zone so that I cannot talk. I wait until people go through that so that, you know, until we get to know each other, whether, and then it took several stages that we are going to take place, but I thought I should share with you these types so that, you know, when we talk about it, it will make more sense to us, okay? Now, this is the group dynamics and the working teams, and what do we mean by group, okay? Group, we define the group as two or more people in a social interaction. Groups, a difference between this is the member that belongs to group and this is non-member group, just people from the company, but this is probably belong to a member, maybe a department or section or division, okay? Therefore, a group in general, okay, group in general, group dynamics, group formations and development, structure and interrelationship with individuals and other groups and other organizations. Now, group, two or more people in a social interaction, stable structure, members share common goals, members perceive themselves as being one group. We belong to KFUP, we belong to Aramco, we belong to public relation department, we belong to purchasing, and this is, you know, what we mean, okay? Group, again, two or more interacting individuals who maintain stable pattern of relationship, share common goals, and perceive themselves as being of one group. Characteristics of the groups, okay? Characteristic of the group, social interaction, stability, common interest or goal, and recognition as being a group, okay? Now, groups are of two types, formal group and informal group, okay? Formal group, informal group. Formal group, example, command groups or task group. Informal group, interest group or friendship group. Formal groups are made by the organization, by department. I give you specific task. You come, Ahmed, Saad, Mansour, you sit together and you are task group. I want you to do this for me or that. This is command group. This is task group. Command group, I bring them, they are all under my command, and I bring Sarah, Muna, Arij, whatever the names, okay, whether male or female, okay, and you are under my command. I want you to work on this specific problem. Therefore, this is formal groups. Informal group, interest group. Maybe people get together socially. They have like a daria, or they sit and they play card together. This is informal group, okay? Or friends, they travel together, they go together, or they go to mosque together, they live in the same area. These are all kind of informal groups. Now, both formal and informal are very important to the organization. We'll find out later on, okay? Now, formal groups created by organization to do organizational goal, such as command group created by connections between individuals who are formal part of the organization. Example, if a VP, vice president of a company, he formulates a group for gathering information about marketing. Okay, this is just for example. Okay, we have also task group, which is formal organizational group to do specific tasks. We have standing committees that are permanent. We have ad hoc committee, just like task force, which is the committee I serve for this for B20 group. It was for a full year, but it was ad hoc committee for specific temporary committees formed for a special groups. Most of the committees for academic are standing committees. They formulate them. If each year you could be with them this year, next year maybe not, maybe somebody else, maybe the following year, and so on and so forth. Okay. Informal group, as we said, is developed naturally among people without any direction from the organization, like social get-together, like a diwaniyat, like going to a mosque together, like within the organization that you have the Filipinos, they have their own informal group, Indians same, Pakistanis the same, and Egyptian is the same. These are called informal groups, okay? Now we have something called interest group with common interest. Like a group, they love to do bicycle together, or they do diving, or they do fishing, or they collect cars, old cars, antique cars. These are called interest group. We have friendship groups, which is informal group developed because they are friends, often see each other outside the organization. Like again, when they go to mosque together, when some people travel together, this is called friendship group. Why do people join a group? Why people do join a group? Okay? People join a group to satisfy mutual interest, to achieve security, to fill social needs, and to safety esteem. People join a group to satisfy mutual interest. By bonding together, people can satisfy mutual goals, like playing chess or playing games together, as playing sports, okay? To achieve security, okay? Group provides safety in numbers, protection against common enemies, maybe hackers from the internet, to safety from other things that could be hazard to you or to your friends, and this is the to fulfill social needs. They go for a cup of coffee, and people have just being in groups help satisfy people basic needs to be with others, to fulfill needs for self-esteem. Like this, we have this marathon, what you call it, running every year here in Eastern Province. Group members provide opportunities for people to be recognized, to be part of something that be recognized. Okay. These are the 5 stages model of a group forming. these are, I explained to you at the beginning that when I am in my comfort zone within the university, or if you are within Aramco or within Sabic or with the Skiko, it's a comfort zone for you. It's okay. Most of the people you know, they know you, no problem. But if you join a different group or assign for a group outside the university, that's where you start seeing people first time. Or if you've been assigned with a group or southern area or northern area, or you go to outside, then this is different. Okay, but all groups formulation go through 5 stages. First stage called forming. Second stage called storming. Third stage called norming. Fourth stage called performing. And the fifth stage called adjourning or exiting. First stage, forming, members, just like exactly what happened to me when I start, going outside my comfort zone, and I've seen people for the first time in my life, and I was a member of them, just stage first forming, members get to know each other and seek to establish group rules. We don't know. I know what is going on in Aramco, at KFUPM, but this is at the governor level, and I don't know. The people come from different university, from different government organization, from different military organization. I don't know. Okay, therefore, members get to know each other and usually very careful. Stage 2, members come to resist control by group leader and show hostility. Second stage, start watching them. Everybody try to show muscles that I know better than in our organization we do that and that. Person from military said no, this is the best way. No, we have to do it from this but therefore people trying to show muscles, and everybody would like to show that he knows best. This is what? Storming. And usually it's a hostile environment against the leader. And therefore the leader, he has to know how to deal with conflict management, how to deal with people. Stage 3, after certain point of time, after 2, 3, 4 meetings, people start norming, okay? This is where members work together, developing close relationship and feelings of camaraderie. Start feeling good about each other and feeling those are all good people, qualified people. We are all have one objective, and you told yourself, you go into next stage, or you tell yourself, I might as well do the best because the success of this team is success for me. I might as well just give it my best, okay? And this is where take us to stage 4 called performing, which is group members work together, getting their jobs done. You start giving your best thing, and you start cooperating, give them the best you have, give them your best practices from Aramco, from Skiko, from KFUPM, and in order to get this thing done. Stage 5, adjourning, it is when if this standing committee will take 1 year, toward the end, you will be in exit mode, and خلاص, it's gonna be finished, soon, and this is called adjourning. This is disband either after meeting or their goals, or because members leaves, okay, or because members leave, okay. We have something called the punctuated equilibrium. Punctuated equilibrium, okay, this is where between the beginning of the group discussion all the way to the group deadline, if you have a project, you will notice at the beginning of the group discussion, group makes plans. The period of equilibrium usually in the middle of your deadline. halfway to deadline, group start group changes, okay? And the period of changing goes to that final changes made until the task is completed. But this is what we call punctuated equilibrium model, where halfway to deadline, group makes certain changes and final changes made, toward the end, and the task is being completed. Now, the punctuated equilibrium model, this when the groups plan activities in two halves. So they revise and implement action in the second half. Start discussion and talking, and in the second half they start implement, revise and implement action. Now, group structure, okay, roles. We have to take a look at the group members. What is role they'll take? We have something role incumbent. We have role expectation, and we have role ambiguity. Roles, okay, and roles in the other way, or the way, or we can think of it or look at it at the hats we wear. What type of hat I wear? That's a role. Definition of a group structure is interrelation between the individual within the group, guideline of their behavior. Okay? Again, role is typical behavior that characterized a person in a specific social context. This is the definition of a role. Again, typical behavior that characterized a person in a specific social context. Role incumbent, when a person holds a particular role, you give him that role. Or when a person, he came from that department, he is, for instance, when I was in this committee for disaster, I told the group members, we have people from different government organizations and different disciplines, but do we have a person who is specialized in chemistry or chemical engineering? Because just in case something happened in these refineries or factories, we didn't have anyone, and this is what we mean by role incumbent. After I left, I was serving in that committee just before I left the United States for my study. My university told me whom recommend. I told them I recommend a person who has chemical engineering or chemistry. He has to be there. But this is very interesting, very important. And some of the problem that you have with the teams, you look at the objective of the teams, but technical people are not there. Maybe the whole problem about, I don't know, about refinery, you don't have mechanical engineer, or about electricity, you don't have electric, or about IT and you don't have system or system engineer or computer engineer. Therefore, you always have to look at the logic. Very important, okay? Role expectation, okay? Role expectation, the behavior expected of someone in a particular role. I have a problem related to electricity, and I have electric engineer from Skiko, the Saudi electric company. Therefore, the expectation as we go through this, I always take a look at him as a group leader, because he came from that field and he is specialized. Therefore, this is role expectation. Okay? Role ambiguity is not known what one is expected to do as holder of a role. Role ambiguity. Role ambiguity. I also was a board member at the Research Institute at King Fahd University Petroleum Minerals. Sometimes people come from industry, sit with us, and they would like us as a team to solve their problem. Yet, they don't know their problem. They said they go around it, and they don't know. We start sitting with them as a consultant or as a scientist, and we define their problem, and we suggest a solution, and we suggest implementation. So this is what we mean, role ambiguity. Sometimes people come to you, whether private sector or government sector or non-government sector or even, and they don't know what's their problem. So you need an expert people or expert so that they look at it and maybe you can excuse them because, you know, if a person very much occupied with the problem, he can't see the problem clearly. Not until somebody from outside he come and he see clear picture. So it's very, very important to clear that ambiguity. Okay, for that called role ambiguity. Role differentiation, tendency for various specialized role to emerge as group develop. We have also task orientation, and we have relation orientation role, and we have self oriented role, and these are all part of role differentiation. Role differentiation is role commonly played by a group members. Organization roles may be differentiated into task-oriented or relation-oriented roles or self-oriented role. Task-oriented, I'm more concentrated on the task. I would like to see what's that task and solve their problem. Relation-oriented, this is a person who always try to minimize the conflict, and he look always at the human aspect of the people and always to have compromise. While self-oriented role person, no. All what he care about himself, all what he cares about his department, much more than the whole organization. He's kind of self-centered. So these are the type of people, okay? For instance, the task-oriented role, he is initiator, contributor, recommended a new solution to group, information seeker, and opinion givers, and energizer. While the relationship-oriented, he's trying to harmonize, compromise, group harmony. He look at the expedite. While the self-oriented person is act stubborn and resistance to the group. He is recognition seeker. All what he cares about himself or department. He is dominator, and he's trying to avoid people. It is very, very interesting when we talk about these types of roles. Okay, norms. Norms is the group unspoken rules. These are the norms. What are the things that we have? What we call prospective norms, and we have prospective and prospective. Okay, norms defined as agreed upon informal rules that guide the group members' behavior. Prospective norms is expectations with a group regarding what is supposed to be done. Therefore, prospective, what's expected to be done. While prospective, it is It is expectation within groups regarding behavior in which members are not supposed to engage in. Prospective. You have to concentrate in the work itself. And there are certain things that you should not be engaged in. Now, norms, how do they develop? Group norms are likely to form for several different reasons. The major ones are summarized here. Basic norm development. President set, the president set over time, okay? Like seating location of a group's member around the table in meetings, okay? Carry over from other situations, professionals, for example, professional standards of conduct. Explicit statements from others, example, working a certain way because you told that's how we do it around here. How do we do it in our company, in our university, in our organization? Critical event in group history, something happened in the past. For example, after the organization suffered a loss due to one person divulging company secrets, a norm developed to maintaining secrecy. Very, very interesting. Status, we have formal and informal. And we have status symbol. Status is prestige, social positions, or rank given to group or individual by others. Formal status, prestige one had by virtue of his official position in an organization. Maybe that a group you have VP from Aramco, or VP from Skiko, or general, high-ranking general from military. These are all status, okay? Status symbols, object reflecting the position of any individuals within the organization hierarchy of power. There are certain symbols also that reflect that status. We have informal status, okay? The prestige accorded individuals with certain characteristics that are not formally recognized. Maybe a person who is low grade at his work, but he's tribal leader. No conflict. Here, that's his rank. And among him, some people from his tribe over there socially work under him, or they obey him. But here, this is work, very professional, industrial. We are working all in a SABIC, or in Aramco, or in Skiko, or in... It is totally different. Therefore, this is called the informal, okay? Cohesion influence, very, very important. Cohesiveness is getting the team spirit. Cohesiveness is the strength the group members desires to remain a part of their group. We have individual performance group, and this is explaining social facilitation, okay, or working in the presence of other. Now, definition of social facilitation is in the presence of others to enhance individuals' performance and at other time to impair it. For instance, if I see my boss, I work so hard. This is called social facilitation, okay? derive a theory of social facilitation is the process or is the presence of others increase the arousal, which increase people tendencies to perform the dominant response. If it's well earned, performance improve. If it is not, the performance will be impaired. Evolution of apprehension is fear of being evaluated or judged by another person. Now, cohesiveness influence, severity of intuition, conditions of high external threat or competition, time spent together, group size, and history of success. Cohesiveness affect increase group members' satisfaction, increase participation in group activities, increase acceptance of group goals, potentially high productivity, decrease absenteeism and turnover, may be counterproductive if a group's goals are contrary to organizational goals. Therefore, it's very, very important and a sign of success to have group cohesion. Very, very, very important. Group cohesion will make work very successful. Derived theory of social facilitation, as I discuss it. Derived theory of facilitation is in the presence of other, as I told you before, if the boss is there, if your peers is there, somebody there, you will just work harder. This is again, start with presence of others. Will derive the arousal and will affect enhanced tendency to perform dominant response. If well learned, then it will be correct and it will improve performance. If not well learned, it will be incorrect and it will impair performance. This is the derived theory of social facilitation. Social loafing. Social loafing is, we call it sometimes the free riding when working with others. If you are part of a team, if the team is big, you kind to be lenient and lazy about doing things. You tell yourself, well, those people is gonna do it. This is social loafing. If you do think yourself, it is expected from you, you will do best or at most. If two people, small group, then again, both of them will work, but the curve will go down. Okay, this is depending on the group size and the amount of individual performance. If there are 5, 6, 7 people to do one job, some people will just relax, take it easy. This is called social loafing. You have to be careful because the more people who work together on a group task, the smaller the contribution made by any one member of the group. And accordingly, we have additive tasks, which is a group of tasks which which the coordinated effort of several people are added together to form a group product. And we have how to overcome this social loafing. You know, this is the social loafing. Okay, this is a chart I told you about. This is people. This is social loafing. Okay, culture social loafing. Okay, in China versus United States. Okay, people of Republic of China perform alone percentage less than the people who perform in the groups. As I told you, in China, people usually they are more group oriented or team oriented. While United States, people who will perform in groups are much less than the people who will work in groups. Therefore, in the collectivist, okay, in the collectivist culture of China, people perform better as a member of a group than they did alone. While in the individualistic culture of the United States, people perform better alone than in groups. And social loafing occur. Very interesting. Okay. Overcoming social loafing, make each performer identifiable. Make work, task more important and interesting. Reward individuals who contributing to their group's performance. Use punishment and the threat if you have to. Now, group versus team. Team defined as a group of complementary skills committed to common purpose of performance goals. They hold themselves accountable. Teams are organized around the work process rather than function. For example, the 3M, giving you at your book, the 3M used to have many separate departments working in various aspects of maintenance process. Teams own the product and services or process in which they work. People feel if they own part of it or they own stock in that company, or people will feel part of something meaningful and understanding how it works. Example, product line. I'm sorry, example, production line, okay? They feel they are part of it, and team members are trained in several different areas and have variety of skills. We have cross-training, we have shared mental model, and cross-training is training teams members in several areas of expertise to achieve team success and to hold each other. Shared mental models, this is a common understanding how the teams operate and how people expect to work together. Now, groups, teams, and preference, also performance depends on, if it's a group, individual contribution. If it is team, individual contribution and collective work. Accountability for outcomes. Test on here, individual outcomes, if it's a group, if it's a team, mutual outcomes. Members are interested in, if it's a group, common goal, if it's a team, common goals and commitment to purpose. Responsive to, if it's a group, demands of the management, while if it's team, self-imposed demand. There is a big difference between groups and teams. Which more successful? Teams. Okay. Type of teams. Okay. We have work team. Okay. Purpose or mission. Work teams connected with the products or service. And we have improvement team, concerned with improving the effectiveness of the process. Now, in terms of time, we have temporary teams existing for a finite period, and we have permanent teams remain, interact as long as the organization exists. Degree of autonomy, we have work groups, leaders make decisions for group members, while self-group work teams, team members are free to make their own key decisions. I'll give you an example. Saudi Airlines, the people who work on the flight line for maintaining and preparing the airplanes, the commercial airplanes to fly. These have different time, different schedule, and they work in shifts. Most likely, this type of teams, you give them, do your own schedule, put it by yourself, go ahead and agree of whatever you want. I am as a manager, I'll just go ahead and okay it. Because this is the kind of self-managed work team. Authority structure, interact teams work within own specialty area, while authority structure, cross-functional teams consist of members from several different specialties. Physical presence, we have physical teams, members are physically presented, and we have virtual teams, members met via electronic means, just like so many things after the COVID right now is doing that. Degree of autonomy, okay? Notice, degree of autonomy, okay? Depending on the responsibility of decisions, this is the boss, this is yourself or the person, and again, depending on the accountability for work outcomes, boss, self. And look at the work groups. If you have boss here holding everything or deciding on everything, therefore this is work group. Then we have autonomous work group, almost in the middle, and self-managed team depend a lot on themselves to go ahead and manage their work and duties and schedule. Self-managed team versus traditional work groups. Self-managed teams, customer-driven, multi-skills workforce, a few job discretions, a few job descriptions, informal share widely, a few level of management, shared goals, and self-controlled, high worker commitment, while traditional worker groups, management-driven, information limited, and seemingly organized, problem-solving emphasis, high managed commitment, and incremental improvement, and mainly management control. Creating and developing teams. You start by stage 1, pre-work. Stage 2, create performance condition. Stage 3, form and build a team. Stage 4, provide going assistance. And this is stage 1 and 2 before team formulation, and this is going over time. Stage 3 during team formulation, and stage 4 after team formulation. Stage 1, pre-work, determine whether or not to form a team. If a team is formed, establish objectives and authority structure. Now, this is all before team formulation. Stage 2, again, before team formulation, you have create performance conditions, ensure that team has a proper function. Now, during the team formulation, you go to stage 3, form and build the teams. Form boundaries, get members to accept purpose and mission, clarify responsibilities. After formulation of the team, stage 4, provide ongoing assistance, help eliminate problems that arise, and help team and use resources. Successful teams, people enjoy working in teams after adjustment, help enhancement commitment among employees, allow more to be done by fewer people, not always responsible for making individuals and organization more productive. It's not your responsibilities, okay? Why some team fails? Because they are unwilling to cooperate, lack of management support, managers' reluctance to relinquish control. They don't want to give it away. They wanted to stop into that control, okay? Failure to cooperate between teams. Successful team development, compensate team performance, communicate urgency of team's mission, train members in team skills, being a team member and self-managed. Lots of responsibility on you. Required team members, interpersonal skills required by team members. Experts have recommended that team members be trained in various interpersonal skills summarized here. Many of these skills are described in more details elsewhere in the book. Skills such advocating, acquiring, tension management, okay, sharing responsibilities, leadership skills, valuing diversity, and self-awareness. Requirement self-management skills. Self-management skills is observing and evaluating oneself. Watch yourself, okay? Expecting high performance from oneself and others, setting performance goal, participating in new skills and tasks, and criticizing oneself's objective. Successful team development, team training exercise. You should have a clear role definition, problem solving, goal setting, interpersonal process, and promote cooperation within and between teams. select team member based on skills or potential skills, and you have to be patient. Last slides here is team training effectiveness. Start by knowledge of team skills. If it is high, all your team skills, people are all from KFUPM, they are all engineers, they are all from, then effectiveness at solving a problem will be high. Performance in the field is high. Performance on physical skills is high, and this will affect into rating of team performance by observers as a high. If the knowledge of the team workers' skills are low, effectiveness to solve the problem is low. Performance in the field is low. Performance on physical skills low, and accordingly you will have rating of team performance by observers is low. And by this we conclude our chapter 8, group dynamics and work team, and this is again management 512, leadership and organizational behavior, and this is Dr. Samir Hamad, and I will see you again, and you have a good day, good evening, and good afternoon, and thank you very much.